Well, good morning, everybody. What's up?
Is it me, or does it smell like up dog in here?
What's up, Doc?
Nothing much. What's up with you?
I thought I would recap what we've done so far to this 2023 Road Glide ST. We installed 12-inch KST bars with Arlen Ness grips with the gold ends on them. We did the Bassani 212 header, the CR483 Cam, adjustable push rods, S&S cam plate and oil pump, the S&S aluminum intake manifold with 5.5 injectors, ThunderMax. And so today we are going to go over the ThunderMax install and setup with you. I'm going to try to go through this as much in detail as I can, so that if anyone wants to install one of these at home, you'd have a good chance of being successful. All right, so hang in there. We'll get started here in just a minute.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Okay, we're going to start out like we always do by putting the VIN number of the bike into the ThunderMax software. Test the VIN code, and it says what it says here, but for some reason it says a 2011. So let me verify that VIN code. Yeah, I was way off. So after changing a couple of digits here, let's test it. And now it says Street Glide ST, air-cooled 117, 2023. So we know we got it hooked to the right bike. It's gonna show some diagnostics codes, but let's see what they are and clear them out. Don't know what it would be. It's probably nothing because it's a new install. All right, so let's clear those out. See if they come back. We're going to register the bike for the customer. All right, and so off everything goes to ThunderMax for the registration. All right, so on this particular application, I'm going to use a map that I've used for several 117s that we've done exactly the same way that we've done this one. And so I'm going to go up here and choose that map. And it is a 117 CR483 5.5 injectors right here. So I'm going to open that, and I'm going to write that to the ThunderMax. Okay. So I just took a file from my computer and sent it to the motorcycle. That's how that works. And once this is completed, we're going to switch the bike off and back on 3 separate times, and I'll demonstrate that for you in real time so that you can see how long it takes. That's very important because the ThunderMax is taking readings from the way the bike reacts when you turn the start button on, and it needs to learn those processes. Each bike's a little bit different. Microscopically, it's a little bit different.
It's science.
So you got to follow this step. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to turn it off, the main switch, not the handlebar switch. Turn the main switch off. If you'll notice, the green lights are still on. That means it's still linked. As soon as those turn red, that means that there's no power going to the ThunderMax. So we want to now turn the main switch back on and wait for the ThunderMax to power up. That'll happen when the green lights come on. All right, so now we are linked back up to the computer from the ThunderMax. So we could shut it back off. This is the second time. Now, don't think for 1 second that you got to wait a certain amount of time when you're riding your bike and you turn the switch on, that you got to wait for the ThunderMax to link up. That's not what's going on here. What's going on here is it's linking from the bike to the computer. We just have to make sure that process is done correctly. So this will be our third time. I'm going to turn the main switch back on. This is real time. I'm not editing anything. Just letting you know how long it takes to do this. So if you choose to do one of these at home, this is what you'll see. All right. Okay, so now we can turn it off. This will be our 3 on-off initial ignition setups here. Now the next time we do this, we're going to try to start it and see what we get. We shouldn't have any trouble. And I'm going to try to do this right now and see what happens. Make sure the bike's in neutral. It is. All right, I'm going to walk over here and hit the start button. Right, what I'm doing is I'm monitoring what's happening live to the engine, and I'm watching these AFRs front and rear right here. I want to make sure that they dance in the middle right here, and they are. So we're doing good right now. So we're going to let this thing warm up to about 180 degrees. That's going to be our initial idle tune. We just want to make sure that everything works like it's supposed to. We'll let it cool back down to about 75 degrees, which is room temperature, and then we're going to do a second one. We're watching for the AFRs to make sure that they stay where we want them to stay. And you want to do this 3 times. I've been doing this for a long time, and each time I take my time and do these initial idle tunes like this, the results I get are great. As you can see, there's not being much change on the map. It's not moving it very much, which is a very good sign. So hang in there, and we'll be right back. The audio on my microphones that I use is not the greatest. The smoke that you see there is lubricant that we spray on all the clamps so that they install easily and we don't have any trouble. It cooks right off, no big deal. But this is not a real representation of the sound. I'm doing the best I can with it. But you can hear the cam for sure. So this is a really nice setup. I recommend this for any 117 out there, or 114, or even a 107. I found it to be a bulletproof combination. Power's really good, the reliability's really good. If you have any questions, you can always contact me here at the shop, 334-997-4906. So we are at 172 degrees. There's been a few changes. You can expect some changes. Each bike's a little bit different, but we are doing really good right here, which is what we want. The black bar is not going to stay perfect on any bike. As long as it stays in the green 95% of the time, that's perfect. It's as good as it's going to get. So we're getting ready to shut this one off. It's approaching 180. We'll go ahead and shut this one off and I'll show you the next step. We are now at 186 degrees, which is fine. Some people might ask why 180. Well, on the idle tune part of the equation, as you can see here, this is your head temperature. Here's 180 degrees. ThunderMax decided that during an idle tune, 180 degrees would be the warm-up period. Anything past 180 degrees is operating temperature. So any changes that take place out here are on other areas of the map. So there's no real reason to let it continue to sit there and idle, because it's not gonna make any difference on this page. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to turn the bike back on, and we're going to do what's called an auto map. What an auto map is it's when the ThunderMax data that has been collected, which we just collected some, and the ThunderMax made changes. It's when those changes are made permanent. It's a very easy thing to do. The more auto mapping you do in the beginning, the more auto mapping you do, the quicker the bike will get to where it needs to be. So what you do is you go up here to map editing and simply click auto map and read perform auto map and let it do its own thing right there, the bottom choice. Just hit OK. Okay, now what it's doing is it's pulling information out of the ThunderMax. And then it's going to put it back in. As you can see right here, it says reading. It's pulling it out of the bike. It'll reformat it some way, and then it'll put it back in. Put it back into the bike. Then we can start over. But we're going to let this thing cool down, like I said, below 80 degrees. And then we're going to do a second idle tune. And what we should notice is less movement here with the green cookies. That's what we should notice. That's our goal. Okay, now, so we can turn the bike off, and I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of fans on it to accelerate the cool down, and then when we're ready for the second idle tune, I'll come back. Stay tuned. While we're waiting for the bike to finish cooling down, I wanted to show you what you might want to do for your tuning when you're out riding it. This is just painter's tape. So as you can see, I went ahead and marked a line. The switch housing split right here, so you can use that as a good marking point for 0. Just take a Sharpie, come across here, that's your closed throttle. Then if you twist it wide open, you can see I put a mark here for wide open. That's about halfway, that's a quarter, and that's 3/4. So it gives you a good visual indication when you're out riding where to put the throttle and keep it. It'll be the same place each time. Okay, so the idea is to put your bike in 4th or 5th gear. 4th gear is fine, 5th gear is fine, whichever one you feel comfortable at, whatever speed you feel like you need to take it to. But bring the bike down to 1500 RPMs and then take the throttle to a quarter throttle and leave it until the RPMs get to about 4,500, and then let the throttle go to 0 and let it crawl back down to 1500. When it gets back to 1500, go back and do that again, quarter throttle. You want to do that in cycles of 4 times per throttle location. I know it's a lot to do, but it's what you need to do to make sure this thing's right. After you do that 4 times, pull over side of the road, shut it off. Give it 15, 20 seconds, turn it back on, go back out, get up to 4th or 5th gear, whichever one you choose. Then do the same thing again, 1500 RPMs, go half throttle. All right, run it up to 4,500, let it off, let it growl back down to 1,500. The whole time you're doing this, you need to be listening to your exhaust. Your exhaust is talking to you. If you hear popping and cracking coming out of the exhaust, keep doing it, and that popping and cracking will go away. If it doesn't go away, you got a problem. You got an intake leak, you got a clogged injector, you got something going on. Foul plug, something. But you'll hear all this stuff, all that popping and cracking going away because it's tuning. Do that over and over and over again at each step. Don't be doing a bunch of this. That's not going to help you. You got to go and leave that throttle where it's at for the duration of 1,500 to 4,500, and then once you reach 4,500, let it off. It's reading information when it's growling back down to 1,500. But if you're doing all this crap, trying to do burnouts and play around, you're just wasting your time.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Okay, let's do the second idle tune. We're going to go ahead and turn it on. Let it link up. All right, we want to put it into monitor mode, and now we're going to start it back up. You need to let it get back up to 180 degrees. As you can see in real time here, it's still making some changes. There should be less amount of changes, but there's still going to be some. So I'll check back with you here in just a few minutes. Okay, what we're looking at here, if you'll notice all the gauges at the bottom, you've got your idle speed, you've got your engine head temperature, your tach idle position, AFR front, AFR rear, and your AFR target. You have a CL core front, that's closed loop correction front and closed loop correction rear. You also have your battery voltage at 14.3. If you'll notice, everything is dancing right where it should be. This is going to be a really, really good running bike. Also, there are very subtle changes that are being made in the graph there. Very subtle, very subtle. This is the second idle tune. Probably by the third idle tune, there's not going to be any changes, which is what we want. Then we can take it out and ride it and dial it in a little bit further to make sure that the timing's right and that we don't have any pinging or cracking or popping or anything like that. And then we can return the bike to the customer. All right, we're approaching 180 degrees. Everything is still just right where we want it. Okay, we're at 180. I'm going to go ahead, turn the bike off, and we'll let it disconnect. Then we're going to switch the bike back on and do another auto map. All right, so let's turn it back on. We're going to wait for it to link. We'll move our cursor up here to map editing. Right here, and we want to auto map. Boom. And just click OK. Read, perform auto map, and write. And it'll do its thing. We'll let this run in real time so you can see how long it takes. You got to be patient with these things. They're not as quick as a like a computer would be when you open up a program or something. Still does a great job though. If you'll watch when it finishes here, what's green will be red. Smoothing it out just a little bit. It should change right here in just a second. There it went. See, it's smoothing it out. Really good. That's what we want. All right, so let's give it about another 10 minutes to cool back down. Hell, it's already gone down almost 20 degrees just in that amount of time. So let's give it a few minutes. We'll come back and do a third idle tune and should be able to get it out on the road.
A few moments later.
Okay, we are at 86 degrees, 84 degrees, so we're going to go ahead and do another run up, and we'll watch this and see if it makes any changes. It's going to be very subtle, but we'll go ahead and start it up now. See what it does. Okay, it's still making a few subtle changes, but we're going to let this be the final idle tune and go out and run it after this one. Okay, we're approaching 180 degrees. Let's give it a second here to reach the actual temperature and we'll shut it off. Okay. So now, that's our third run up. So far, so good. And as soon as it disconnects, we'll turn it back on and do an auto map again. And then we're gonna look and make sure we don't have any error codes. So let's go ahead and do map editing, auto map, and OK. So now let's go over here to module configuration and diagnostics codes. Let's look through here and see if we find anything. There's a tack actuation error, but it's not historical. So I don't see anything to be concerned about, but we're going to clear everything and close it. All right, in our basic settings, we have speedo calibration set to 44,750, and that is what this bike needs. All right, throttle progressivity, we've got that set to 6. I pulled the rev limiter down to about 5,700. You don't need to go any further than that, guys. Just gonna tear these bikes up. And that should do it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and save this map onto my computer. 117 underscore 483 underscore 55 underscore 21 underscore ST 23. All right, so I'll have a copy of that. And that should do it. So we'll get it down off the lift and get it out. It's a cold day today, so it may take a while, but that should do it. Hang tight. It's a cold morning this morning, so Tony's going to put his white gloves on, give it the white glove treatment, get out there and see what we can come up with. All right, it's a cold day. Tony's froze to death. but he reports it don't need nothing. And I believe him because he knows what he's listening for when he rides these things. We've had a good time with this one. We're going to go ahead and put this one in the record books. We're going to save the map for the customer and give him a call, tell him to come pick up his new hot rod. As usual, I sure appreciate you watching. I know Tony appreciates it too.
Oh yeah.
And we'll talk to you on the next one. I'm Steve Carr. Thanks for watching.